Okay, so after the disaster with the Lastrygonians and Odysseus loses all of his other ships except for one, they are truly lost. They're floating around the Mediterranean Ocean, not knowing where they're headed. And they end up on Aia Island. So, Aia Island belongs to Circe. She is the daughter of the sun god and an ocean nymph, and she's a witch. So here we go. In the wild wood, they found an open glade around a smooth stone house, the hall of Circe. And wolves and mountain lions lay there, mild in her soft spell, fed on her drug of evil. None would attack. Oh, it was strange, I tell you. But switching their long tails, they faced our men like hounds who look up when their master comes with tidbits for them, as he will from table. Humbly those wolves and lions with muddy paws fawned on our men, who met their yellow eyes and feared them. Warning flag, right? When you see lions and tigers and bears, oh my, and they're not attacking you, something's up, right? They are looking at Odysseus's men, fawning on them. In the entranceway, they stayed to listen there. Inside her quiet house, they heard the goddess Circe. Low she sang in her beguiling voice, while on her loom she wove ambrosial fabric, sheer and bright, by that craft known to the goddess of heaven. None would speak, until Polites, most faithful and likable of my officers, said, "Dear friends, there's no need for stealth. Here's a young weaver singing a pretty song to set the air a-tingle on these lawns and paven courts. Goddess she is, or lady, shall we greet her? Yeah, there's nothing to fear here. It's just a pretty girl." So, reassured, they all cried out together. And she came swiftly to the shining doors to call them in. All but Eurylochus, who feared a snare. The innocents went after her. On thrones she seated them, and lounging chairs, while she prepared a meal of cheese and barley and amber honey mixed with Praemian wine, adding her own vile pinch to make them lose desire or thought of our dear fatherland. Scarce had they drunk, when she flew after them with her long stick and shut them in a pigsty. Bodies, voices, heads, and bristles, all swinish now, though minds were still unchanged. She turned them into pigs. Swinish, right? At least their bodies into pigs. Their minds weren't changed, but the men were turned into pigs. Of course, she turned them into pigs. Men are pigs. But this explains all those other animals that they saw when they first got there. And the animals weren't attacking. They were kind of looking at them with, like, some weird look. It must be all the people who ever come to her palace. She changed them into animals. So squealing in they went, and Circe tossed them acorns, mast, and cornelberries, fodder for hogs who rut and slumber on the earth. Well, down to the ship, Eurylochus came running to cry alarm. Oh yeah, he didn't go in, right? Foul magic doomed his men, but working with dry lips to speak a word he could not, being so shaken. Blinding tears welled in his eyes, foreboding filled his heart. When we were frantic questioning him, at last we heard the tale. Our friends were gone. Said he, "We went up through the oak scrub where you sent us, Odysseus, glory of commanders, until we found a palace in a glade, a marble house on open ground, and someone singing before her loom a chill, sweet song. Goddess or girl, we could not tell. They hailed her, and then she stepped through shining doors and said, 'Come in, come in.' Like sheep, they followed her. But I saw cruel deceit and stayed behind. Then all our fellows vanished. Not a sound and nothing stirred, although I watched for hours. When I heard this, I slung my silver-hilted broadsword on and shouldered my longbow and said, 'Come, take me back the way you came.' But he put both his hands around my knees in desperate woe and said in supplication, 'Not back there, O my lord. Oh, leave me here. You, even you, cannot return. I know it. I know you cannot bring away our shipmates. Better make sail with these men, quickly too, and save ourselves from horror while we may.' But I replied, "By heaven, Eurylochus, rest here then, take food and wine, stay in the Black Hall's shelter. Let me go, as I see nothing for it but to go." I want to point this out. So, the last encounter with the Lastrygonians, Odysseus saved himself, right? All the other ships are under attack. He cut his own loose and he just left. I think we start to see here an evolution in his leadership, where now Eurylochus comes down and says, "There's a witch on the island. She's turned all of our men to pigs. Get on the boat. Let's go. Let's save ourselves." And Odysseus stands up and says, as leader, "No, I have to go. I have to get them." So I turned and left him, left the shore and ship, and went up through the woodland, hushed and shady, to find the subtle witch in her long hall. But Hermes met me with his golden wand, barring the way. That's a good thing. Hermes, you might know, is the messenger of the gods. That means that somebody's in Odysseus's corner up on Mount Olympus. And I think we can guess that it's Athena, right? Athena is rooting for Odysseus to succeed, even though Poseidon and Zeus are kind of set against Odysseus. Athena wants to help him. So Hermes shows up, a boy whose lip was downy in the first bloom of manhood, so he seemed. He took my hand and spoke as though he knew me. "Why take the inland path alone, poor seafarer, by hill and dale, upon this island all unknown? Your friends are locked in Circe's pale, all are become like swine to see, and if you go to set them free, you go to stay, and never more make sail for your old home upon Thaki. But I can tell you what to do to come unchanged from Circe's power, and disenthrall your fighting crew. Take with you to her bower as amulet this plant I know. It will defeat her horrid show. So pure and potent is the flower, no mortal herb was ever so. Your cup with numbing drops of night and evil, stilled of all remorse, she will infuse to charm your sight. But this great herb with holy force will keep your mind and senses clear. And when she turns cruel, coming near, with her long stick to whip you out of doors, then let your cutting blade appear. Let instant death upon it shine, and she will cower and yield her bed, a pleasure you must not decline. So may her lust and fear bestead you and your friends, and break her spell. But make her swear by heaven and hell no witch's tricks, or else your harness shed, you'll be unmanned by her as well." Ooh. So Hermes shows up, and in rhyme even. It's amazing how they were able to translate the Greek and keep some of the rhyme. Had to force it a little bit, though. Hermes says, "Here, I will help you not get turned into a pig, and then you can use that as leverage against her." So Hermes bent down glittering for the magic plant and pulled it up. Black root and milky flower. A moly in the language of the gods. Fatigue and pain for mortals to uproot, but gods do this and everything with ease. Moly. This is where we get the phrase holy moly. It's this holy plant that only the Greek gods can uproot. Holy moly. Then toward Olympus, through the island trees, Hermes departed. And I sought out Circe, my heart high with excitement, beating hard. Before her mansion in the porch I stood to call her, all being still. Quick as a cat, she opened her bright doors and sighed a welcome. Then I strode after her with heavy heart down the long hall, and took the chair she gave me, silver-studded, intricately carved, made with a low footrest. The lady Circe mixed me a golden cup of honeyed wine, adding in mischief her unholy drug. I drank, and the drink failed. But she came forward, aiming a stroke with her long stick, and whispered, "Down in the sty, and snore among the rest." Without a word, I drew my sharpened sword, and in one bound held it against her throat. She cried out, then slid under to take my knees, catching her breath to say in her distress, "What champion of what country can you be? Where are your kinsmen in your city? Are you not sluggish with my wine? Ah, wonder! Never a mortal man that drank this cup, but when it passed his lips he had succumbed. Hale must your heart be, and your tempered will. Odysseus then you are, oh great a contender, of whom the glittering god with golden wand spoke to me ever, and foretold the black swift ship would carry you from Troy. Put up your weapon in the sheath. We two shall mingle and make love upon our bed, so mutual trust may come of play and love." Yeah, so she's going to plan B. Plan A was to turn him into a pig. It didn't work because of the holy moly. So plan B is, well, if I can't turn him into a pig, maybe I can make him act like a pig, right? And she's going to seduce him, use her other power over him. Well, to this I said, "Circe, am I a boy that you should make me soft and doting now? Here in this house you turned my men to swine. Now it is I myself you hold, enticing into your chamber, to your dangerous bed, to take my manhood when you have me stripped. I mount no bed of love with you upon it." At this point, I'm cheering inside, right? This is what I want my hero to do. He's got a wife at home. He's got a kid at home. He hasn't seen them in 10 and a half years. Yeah, stay true. But then it continues, or swear me first a great oath if I do. Right. You'll work no more enchantment to my harm. All right, cross your heart, hope to die, stick a needle in your eye. You won't do any more tricks against me if I agree to this. She swore at once outright as I demanded, and after she had sworn and bound herself, I entered Circe's flawless bed of love. Boo! I'm gonna skip this steamy part here. Basically, there's a bubble bath involved, some candles, some massage oils. Don't worry, we'll pick up on the other side of that. Okay.